So, did these intruders escape quickly, panicking when they saw these SMSs, and they didn't clean up and they ran off? They didn't want to get found. They didn't want to get chased. They wanted to point the blame at Benoit. They wanted to create the perfect crime, where Benoit was left with his reputation in tatters, with people believing that Benoit had done it, with them getting away with it. And they wanted the opportunity, 3 opportunities to extort money. Firstly, threatening that they will kill the wife. Secondly, threatening they'll kill the son. And thirdly, threatening that they'll kill Benoit himself. Maybe that is why these murders, these horrible murders, took place over almost 3 days. Because they wanted time to extort. It would certainly explain the beer cans. It would certainly explain the wine. It would explain why Benoit's downstairs while the son is upstairs. It would explain why the wife is in another room in the office. It would explain the wrestling moves. But it wouldn't blame Benoit, because maybe he didn't do it. Let's look at his beer record. Well, all the wrestlers say he didn't enjoy drinking beer much. In fact, once, even on the WWE website, he recalls celebrating in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin during the 2004 Royal Rumble. And he said, and I quote from Benoit, "For the first time in my life, I actually drank a whole beer." He was not an alcoholic. No one has said that, and he didn't even like alcohol. And yet 10 cans of beer, empty cans, and a half-drunk bottle of wine were found. On the 25th of June 2007, Lieutenant Tommy Pope of the County Sheriff's Department reported to ABC News that the police were not searching for any suspects outside the house, as the instruments of death were located at the scene of the crime. Well, they haven't told us what these instruments of death were. We don't know what they were, and where's the proof that they were Benoit's instruments of death? Why couldn't they be the extortionist instruments of death, trying to make it look like it was Benoit's? Maybe they were so well prepared that they wore rubber gloves to avoid leaving traces. How can police be so sure that it was not extortionists? Where's the evidence that it was not? How can the police prove, that Benoit did these wrestling moves? It seems incredible that a man so loving and so family orientated, in a premeditated way, over 3 days, would first kill his wife, and then spend almost another day, and then kill his son, and then spend almost another day, and then commit suicide. Meanwhile, we're to believe he was drinking like he'd never drunk before. Roid rage? I don't think so. Even the road warrior animal said he's seen roid rage, but he's never seen roid rage that lasts 3 days. It usually lasts 5 minutes, 10 minutes, at the most a short while, but it never lasts 3 days. Benoit had never, ever been seen in roid rage. He'd never been overdosing. He was not taking excessive prescriptions, I believe. On the 25th of June 2007, Detective Bo Turner of the Fayette County Sheriff's Department told television station WAGA-TV that the case was being treated as a murder-suicide. The station reported that the investigators believe that Benoit murdered his wife and son over the weekend and committed suicide sometime on Monday. Have police rushed to judgment here? Have they almost exclusively focused on the carnage inside the house to reach their conclusion? Have the police checked the premises meticulously for any evidence of intrusion? Did they need to intrude? Did they not just get in and knock at the door? Maybe they were known to the wife. They came in and then tied her up. Maybe they were known to Benoit. Maybe for a few weeks earlier they already threatened and he was worried about it. That would fit in with some people saying he looked worried a few weeks before. Even now, new evidence is emerging. I ask, can the police clearly and unequivocally confirm in some detail the extent and nature of the forensic examinations that they've undertaken in the Benoit home to date? Note, and I ask you to note this, no Bible is found near Benoit's body. Are we saying that he was not only a Christian but was only caring for people he'd murdered? That he'd put a Bible next to their body after so premeditatedly murder them over such a long period of time? And then not put one next to himself? Or did these extortionists, as I've just explained, do this before they killed Benoit to put pressure on him psychologically to give in to their demands? Maybe they actually said to Benoit, we've put a Bible next to the bodies, even if Benoit hadn't seen the bodies upstairs and in the office. Did they tell Benoit, just before his death, that his reputation would be destroyed? The WWE states that they believe the facts of this crime do not support the hypothesis that roid rage played a role in the murders. They cite evidence of premeditation in addition to the lack of toxicology report. They cite evidence of premeditation in addition to the lack of a toxicology report and the fact that the steroids were found in Benoit's home were legally prescribed. But there's no evidence that Benoit took them. Now, we haven't had the toxicology report. It may not be that there's any steroids in his blood. It may not be that there's even any alcohol in his blood. There may be some evidence of some sedative or possibly some chloroform traces. Let's see the result of this. Think for a while. Have we been a victim of the media's rush to judgment? Have the media been a victim of the police's rush to judgment? Has a full, comprehensive analysis of that house been undertaken? Have we done justice to this situation? Police have made errors. Remember O.J. Simpson and the errors there that affected the trial? Remember Paris Hilton? The error there that brought her out of jail and put her back in? Police have made errors. Police don't deliberately make errors, but they are human. They can make errors. The police in this incident seem very professional, but have they had experience in this kind of thing before? They themselves, if you listen to their interviews, say that their area is very law-abiding and people tend to be very upright, and that they haven't had experience of this before. Has a full, comprehensive analysis of that house been undertaken? The only people who can tell us who did it are his wife, who's dead, the child who's dead, and Benoit himself who's dead. Is it right to blame Benoit when there's reasonable doubt that he didn't do it? Think about it.